have a seat. Okay, this afternoon, our topic is Julius Caesar, and we're going to be learning about who this man called Julius Caesar was. And we're also going to be learning about his early life, because he was very important to the Roman Empire and our study to ancient Rome. But today we're going to actually split this lesson is going to be into two parts. So today we're learning about Julius Caesar's early life and his early accomplishments, what he did to become so famous and to become so popular in Rome, okay? And then we're also going to talk about one of his friends called Pompey and how their relationship turned out, okay? Now for this lesson, you have your note page, and I really need you to turn your ears on for this lesson because you're going to be taking notes, okay? But before we do that, we're going to review some vocabulary words, key vocabulary words that we've learned already, but that will be very important to our lesson today, okay? So the first key vocabulary word that we're going to learn or review, who can remind me what a republic is? What's a republic? Harrison.
A republic is a kind of government which fields your representatives to rule.
Right. So republic is the kind of government in which the people find or choose their own representatives to rule, right? Okay. Now, who can remind us what the word patrician means? We learned about patricians class before last. Edward, what is a patrician?
A patrician is, it could be a very rich people.
Right.
And it's a family of great wealth.
Okay, so in short we can say rich people, and they come from families of great wealth.
And power.
And power, very good. Okay, and then we said a government which people choose. Okay? Now, how about the word council? And these are three very important words.
Council.
The council. Bob, what is the council?
Councils were the two people who commanded the army and made sure laws were carried out. They also led meetings from the Senate.
Right, so they were the Senate leaders, remember? And they were also the leaders of the army leaders, okay? So these three words we've already learned, and a republic, patricians, and councils will be very important in the story that I'm going to tell you today. Now there are also three new words that we need to learn. So the first new word we're going to learn governor. A governor. Okay, who can tell us what a governor is based on your prior knowledge? Lawrence, what is a governor?
It's like people who govern an area.
Okay, so a person in charge of an area, right?
We need to write it.
No, you don't need to write, just listen. Remember, you should be listening. Okay, now the second word you already know, but we can go over it specifically. An army general. What does an army general do? Thomas.
Commands army.
So, in charge of the army, or he commands the army, okay? And finally, what does the word, or the two words, civil war mean? What is a civil war? Juliana.
It's like the war of slaves?
No. Harrison.
A war happened in a country.
A war that happens
In a country.
inside a country between people from the same country, right? So, for example, it's not a war like America against China. It would be a war of America against America or China against China, okay? So, everybody needs to know these three very important words for today. A governor is a person who rules an area, who is usually elected, right? An army general is a person in charge of an army. And a civil war is a war that occurs inside of a country, right? So now, I want you to put your ears on, because I'm going to tell you a very, very interesting story.
Yay!
Okay. So as I told you already, we are learning about Julius Caesar. And Julius Caesar was a hero. He was a hero to Roman people. Okay? So Julius Caesar was a Roman governor. And Julius Caesar had come from a patrician family. What does that mean about Julius Caesar's family?
Very rich.
They were very rich, right? They were very rich. But even though his family was rich, Julius Caesar knew that he should always work hard and he should always be a good person, right? So he was a person of good character. He really, really believed in helping people, and that even though he is rich, his family should not just give him everything he wants. But because he was wealthy, or he was a patrician, this meant that he met other people who were also wealthy patricians, right? And of course, we learned in our last lesson that the patricians were all of the people who were in the what? What is the in the Senate. They were in the Senate. And so because he was wealthy and he was from a patrician family, he was able to also meet other wealthy patricians, and those were the powerful people in the government, okay? And so Julius Caesar knew many, many, many powerful people in the government. And one of his best friends in the government was a man named Pompey.
What?
Okay? And Pompey was the most famous army general in Rome because Pompey never lost. Everybody loved Pompey. He was like the best and the biggest army general. Okay? But one day, and so Pompey told Julius Caesar, guess what? Now you are my enemy. I'm not your friend anymore. You need to give me your army. You cannot have your army.
Okay.
And Caesar was like, I'm not giving you my army. It's my army. This is my army. You have your army. We can have our separate armies. And of course, Pompey was very angry at this time. He was angry when he was still very jealous. And jealousy makes you do crazy things. And so, because Julius Caesar wouldn't give up his army, he wouldn't give Pompey his army, Pompey was like, okay, let's fight. And so what is that fight between people from the same country called? It was a civil war. And there was a civil war between Pompey's army and Caesar's army. And of course, the greatest army general won. Julius Caesar.
Caesar, of course.
Julius Caesar won, and Pompey lost. Yes. And Pompey ran away to Egypt. Why did he run away to Egypt? Because he knew Julius Caesar was going to kill him. He knew Julius Caesar was going to kill him. So he ran away to Egypt because he thought he would be safe in Egypt. But guess what?
The king killed him. The king of Egypt killed him.
The king of Egypt killed him. The king of Egypt killed Pompey.
Wow.
Now the last sentence said, this proved to be a very terrible mistake.
Because
Okay, we're not going to talk about that. That's not our lesson today. Okay? So it's like a cliffhanger. You have to wait until next time. But before we do our note page, think about this. Why do you think that the fact that the king of Egypt killed Pompey was a mistake? What can you predict? Let's make predictions, okay? Why do you think it was probably a mistake, Harrison?
Julius Caesar might not want Pompey to die.
Maybe Julius Caesar didn't want Pompey to die. Maybe he just wanted to capture him and put him in prison, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good prediction. Lawrence, why do you think it was a mistake?
Because Pompey was a Roman general.
Good, a good prediction. Tony?
I think some people that like Pompey would be angry.
Some people that like Pompey would be angry. Okay, that's also a good prediction. So let's recap. Let's take a recap of everything we learned. We know that Julius Caesar was a Roman governor, right? He was born into a family of patricians. He had many, many friends who were powerful and wealthy people in the government. And one of his best friends at the beginning was Pompey. And who was the most famous general, right? But suddenly, Julius Caesar was elected to be?
General.
He was elected to be?
Consul.
And as a consul, what's his job?
Senate. Control
The Senate and the army. And because Julius Caesar controlled the army very well, he became very popular. He became very popular, and the people loved him. And he was a hero to many people. But how did Pompey feel?
Jealous.
Pompey was jealous. And what did Pompey try to make Caesar do?
Give him his army.
Give up his army. Pompey tried to make him give up his army. And what did Caesar say?
No,
I'm not giving up. And so Pompey said, all right, you won't give up your army. We're going to have a fight. What is that fight called?
Civil
War. Who won the war?
Julius Caesar.
And what did Pompey do?
Ran away to Egypt.
And when Pompey ran away to Egypt, what happened?
The king of Egypt killed him.
The king of Egypt killed him. And that was a very terrible mistake. Now, we're going to do your formative assessment, which is the note page, to see if you were listening. Those of you who don't need the word bank, you don't need to use the word bank, but there's a word bank on the board. These are all of the words that fit into different places. So I will give you 5 minutes to try, and then we will review it. Okay. We will go through it together to see what you got so far. Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Julius Caesar
Made many friends with
powerful people in the government.
very good. Go on. One of his friends was
Pompey,
Rome's.
most famous general.
Good. Go on.
Julius Caesar was elected consul and later named governor. He also led a huge army
And was a
hero.
good, Anthony, and was a hero to Roman people. Now, before we finish, can anybody make a prediction? I know some of you might already know something else about the story. What do you predict will happen about Julius Caesar when he gets to Egypt? What will happen, Bob? Egypt and Rome will have a war? Okay, can anybody else predict anything else? Brian?
Because I think Julius Caesar wanted to kill Pompey and himself instead of the king of Egypt having been killed, so he was angry.
Okay, good. Anything else, Brian? What is your prediction?
Like you said in the first time you studied Rome, you said Rome had the greatest empire. You said Egypt was conquered by Rome. So there's a lot of war.
Egypt, so you think that this might happen?
Yeah.
Okay, so Ray thinks that when Julius Caesar gets to Egypt, Rome will conquer Egypt. Okay, maybe. All right, so I want you to remember your predictions until next class, because we will see what happened next when Julius Caesar got to Egypt, and also we will learn about how Caesar felt about the king of Egypt killing Pompey for him, okay? Thank you, grade 3.